Weekly planning is easy when you're the only one you have to worry about. With the blessing of a family comes the difficulties of planning around a family. So we're going to talk about how to create a weekly schedule that works for you and your family. Please don't forget to subscribe for more videos on money, minimalism, and our travel journey around the world. We publish a new video every Friday. I'm in the military, so I understand the importance of structure. Our family understands the importance of structure. There are times whenever I'm deployed for 6 or 7 or 9 months at a time, and we still try to keep certain aspects of structure even while I'm gone. And there are things we do whenever we're all together that make it easier when I'm apart. Simple things like family dinner, nightly prayer, and various activities through the week. It's important for our family to keep that structure, especially for our kids. Weekly planning makes it possible to plan and to keep structure and to take out the stress of disorganization. So I'm going to explain how we do it, and hopefully you can get some ideas on how to create your own weekly schedule. It starts with tracking. A family schedule works just like a family budget. You start by tracking your time, just like you start a budget by tracking your money. And then you start planning out how you're going to use your time, just like you plan out how to use your money. This is the only way to make sure you control your time and your time doesn't control you. So step 1 is to start for at least a month by tracking your family's time. Track every hour. You don't have to be extremely specific. You can say, this time to this time was dinner, this time to this time we went to practice. You don't have to put in the driving and all of that stuff, but just track your family's time and actually write it down. So when I first started doing this, I started by tracking my own time until the family woke up and then tracking everybody else's time. So this is what it looked like for me. 5 o'clock, wake up. 5:05, morning routine, shower, brushing teeth, Bible, prayer, etc. 6 o'clock, wake my wife up. 6:05, spend time with my wife. 6:30, wake the kids up for school. 6:35, the kids go through their morning routine. I've talked about how to do that. I'll put a link below on how we do that. 7:30, walk the kids to the bus stop. 7:40, get ready for work. My wife got ready for the day. 8:30, head to work. My wife started preparing the day at home. Now, if you want to be specific for your workday, that's fine to help you in other ways, but if this is just about your family time, then I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just say 9 to 5 work, so you can get back to tracking your family's time. That's a huge start, and we've only planned up to 5 p.m. When you have a schedule for the entire family, you can plan every day the night before, just like you might do for yourself, so that you know exactly how it's going to go, and the kids can even see what's going to happen. We're going to talk about a family calendar in a moment, but first let's talk about your schedule. Planning your minutes. You're the planner. Since you're the one watching this, you're probably going to be the one responsible for actually tracking your family's time. Because you're interested in doing that, that means that time is very important to you. And it is very important. When you have a family, your time is often taken by your spouse and your kids, and the same is true for your spouse is taken by your time, and your kids are going to take up a lot of your time. So the only way to really get the most out of it is to plan pretty meticulously, but it doesn't have to be as strict as it may seem at first. If I talk about tracking every minute or tracking every hour of the day, it sounds daunting, but it's not as make or break as it sounds. It's more fluid, so don't look at it that way. A schedule is designed to be flexible. For example, if you plan to work out from 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning and your workout goes until 7, that's fine, just plan around it. You can shift things around. You can cancel entire things, at least you plan them in the first place. You can always do them later. Do whatever works for you, but don't let your schedule dictate your life. You dictate your schedule. It's not the other way around. Your schedule does not dictate you. You are the one that created it after all. The entire point of the schedule is to kind of plan for how long things are going to take so you know how much time you have. And it's kind of like when you budget your money and you do all this and control all of it, you actually realize you have more money with the budget or more time than you thought you did. And I started this always by tracking everything, literally everything, even down to taking a shower, brushing my teeth, to figure out how long these things take, maybe be a little leisurely with it so you take longer than normal, so you can figure out overall your entire morning routine takes about an hour, or maybe you thought it took an hour, but it really only takes 20 minutes. That happens a lot too. Whenever you start tracking it, you realize things don't take as long as you thought they did, and then you end up creating more time. So now let's talk about a family calendar. The only way to get everybody on board and to stick with this is to actually have a physical family calendar that everyone can see whenever they want to. And while digital is my preferred method for tracking most everything in my life, when it comes to everyone needing to see it, I would recommend a physical calendar here. I'll put some links below to a really good magnetic calendar you can put on your refrigerator so that everybody can see it. And you don't have to spend $50 or $100 on a calendar. Like, they have plenty of calendars for $10 on Amazon. And that's for the monthly planners, but if you want to do a weekly planner, I'll put a link to a great weekly planner below. That's also an option. You can do both if you want to. do. And finally, I'll put a link to a yearly calendar because I think regardless of whether you do weekly or monthly or both, you should have a yearly calendar so that you can kind of get an idea of when the family vacation's coming. You can put everyone's birthday on there, you can put extended family's birthdays, you can put special events, when school ends, all the stuff and all the questions that the kids ask you about their schedule and about your family schedule, that can be on your annual calendar. And I'll put a link to one of those below as well. I do like the dry erase calendars. That's mostly what I'm linking is dry erase calendars because you can use it over and over and over. For the annual calendar, you can get an actual physical one because you just replace it once a year, but I like dry erase for the normal schedules. And I will say, just by putting a calendar up, you are going to be more organized as a family. You may be surprised by that, but you will. Just try it for a week or two or a month. You'll be more organized if that's the only step you take, as long as you actually put stuff on the calendar. So you can start slow by adding a few events here and there, and then eventually you'll get to the point where you have the whole meal plan on your calendar and you have everything, and you start falling in love with it because you realize that it's so easy to track everything here and you don't have to track it in your mind whenever it's on your calendar. So try to put as much as you can on the calendar as long as it's not stressing you out. The idea is to take stress away, not to create more stress. So if you find this becoming somehow more stressful, then just stop doing it and figure out another plan. Maybe watch a different video. This is what works for us though, is putting everything on this because you're getting it all out of your head. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to ask your wife doesn't have to ask you or your husband or whatever. You don't have to worry about that. You can just put it all on the calendar and everyone can see it there together. But I would say try to make sure you include time for everything on your calendar, on your schedule as you're planning this out. And just to kind of get you started, because you may have a lot going through your head, I'll give you some ideas on stuff that you might want to put on your calendar. Routines, like your morning routine, evening routine, study time for you if you're in school or for your kids, homework, quiet time, vacations, holidays, chores, events, prayer time, meals. Add or subtract things as you see fit. These are just a few ideas to get you started. So do something today to start tracking your family's time, to keep a calendar, to keep a schedule, whether that just simply be buying the schedule or the calendar, or whether that's actually, if you have one, or if you just start with a piece of paper to really, if you want to get started, start tracking today, start getting a schedule together, and understand that this might take 3 or 4 or maybe 6 months before you really get it down. But once you get it down, the rest of your life is going to be so much easier. But it really is just like a budget. I know I keep saying that, but it's just like a budget. It's kind of a living document. It's always going to be changing. It needs to be flexible, but you can keep doing it over time and it's really going to help you out. Just remember, you don't have to get it right, just get started. If you want more about planning your family's time and a whole bunch of other concepts on money and mindset for your children, check out my new book, Intentional Children. I'll put a link to that below. Please subscribe for more videos on money, minimalism, our travel journey around the world. That is all for today. I will see you next week.